Versatile Mage. Chapter 340. The Real Appearance, Xuanwu Giant Lizard. Howzy? Is it still chasing after you? I don't know. I can still hear it. Zhang Xiaohe was actually not in the mood to talk. Take a peek. While running, Zhang Xiaohe slowly turned his head around. With a single glance, Zhang Xiaohe realized that his vision was almost filled up by the giant centipede, especially its ugly, savage head. A few more glances would cause his scalp to turn numb. Suddenly, Zhang Xiaohe noticed something important. Although the giant centipede was chasing madly after him at a crazy pace, its body, which was around 100 meters long, was now totally exposed as it leapt across a ridge of stone on the ground. The first half of its body had 14 limbs, but the other half had none. It was not because the giant centipede was the product of some weird mutation. Zhang Xiaohe could clearly see the cuts and bruises on the second half of its body, which implied that it had somehow lost half of its limbs. It was a centipede with half of its limbs amputated. No wonder the beast had not eaten him alive yet. Due to the lack of limbs on the second half of its body, it had completely lost its ability to maintain its balance. It kept on crashing to the sides, either gouging out huge ravines or sliding into the muddy pools. It would be agile at times, but slow as an ox the rest. Brother Fan, this giant centipede is injured too. Zhang Xiaohe blurted out in excitement. I knew Brother Fan wouldn't let me down. Be careful. Although that guy has no ranged attacks, you will be in grave danger if it manages to slam into you with its head. Oh, I forgot to mention too. The antidote fruits that I had you eat before, they aren't really fruits. They were the eggs that the giant centipede laid. Therefore, it should be able to smell the scent of its kids on your breath. Don't worry about it not chasing after you. Just keep on running, Mo Fan replied, while panting heavily on the other side of the comms. Zhang Xiaohe was stunned for a moment. Worry my ass. A disgusted feeling welled up inside him. Zhang Xiaohe never thought Mo Fan would set his teammates up like this. It turned out that none of his words were true, apart from the fact that the thing could be used as an antidote. Crap, the ground ahead is running out. Zhang Xiaohe realized there was a huge mud pool in front of him. He would need to travel more than 200 meters across the water before reaching land. He took a glance at the giant centipede chasing after him, which was only 100 meters away. Holy crap, it was pretty much just the length of itself away. There was no way Zhang Xiaohe would be stopping now. He only hoped that the mud was viscous enough and had a high percentage of earth element. Otherwise, it would be the end of things if he ended up sinking into the muck. Clenching his teeth, Zhang Xiaohe maintained his speed and continued to cast wind track and earth wave at the same time as he made his way across the mud. The wind track formed a lengthy airflow across the 200-meter-long pool of mud. The earth wave surged forward and used the mud to create a path. Zhang Xiaohe manipulated the mud in the water and forced the lumps to gather rapidly, quickly contracting and forming a muddy path across the surface. Boss Zan Kong had told him before that if a wind element user was fast enough, he could sprint across the surface of water. The viscosity of mud was significantly higher than water. Surely it would be easier to run across it than water, right? Zhang Xiaohe had completely put his life at stake trying to pull off such a difficult move. A unique glow wrapped around his legs as he prepared to use his magic boots, which served as his final trump card. He was doing everything he could just to stop his legs from being caught in the mud. Oh wow. Zhang Xiaohe sprinted across the pool while screaming at the top of his lungs. A clear path surfaced in the middle of the pool, splitting the muck aside. If it weren't for the visually dominating centipede chasing right after him, he would not mind showing his new move to his friends. Brother Fan, I'm almost there, fuck me. Zhang Xiaohe saw a giant black moving mountain rising ahead of him, just as he was about to reach his destination. Zhang Xiaohe had only managed to see the rough silhouette of the creature the other day, as the place was too dark. Now, under the last of the sunlight, he could finally see the true appearance of the giant lump of meat. He could feel his heart shattering into pieces from shock. It was an Xuanwu giant lizard. The Xuanwu giant lizard had a fairly flat giant shell on its back. The hunter group had mistakenly assumed it to be even ground when they stepped onto it. The body of the Xuanwu giant lizard was even bigger. The whole swamp was trembling as it moved. Zhang Xiaohe was still a distance away from the gigantic beast, but it felt like it was right in front of him due to its overwhelming presence. This guy was way more terrifying than the giant centipede. Brother Fan, are you sure they will be fighting one another? Zhang Xiaohu's throat throbbed as he spoke in a rather unbelieving tone. I've fed it the centipede's legs. They should be fighting soon. Mo Fan responded in a confident tone. Brother Fan, what exactly have you been doing at this place? Zhang Xiaohe felt like dropping to his knees in front of Mo Fan. They were both severely injured, and I found a way to get rid of the centipede's poison, so it won't pose any threat to us. The Xuanwu giant lizard's movements are slow due to its injury. Otherwise, we would be dead by now, Mo Fan replied. As the two drew closer to one another, the two giant creatures which could stir the swamp into great chaos were on the verge of crashing into one another. However, between them stood the humans who had infuriated them. Their first priority was to get rid of the pests before handling the conflict between themselves. As such, the two giant beasts totally sealed off their escape routes. They would talk later when the two bold little mice were dealt with. Li Man, the vortex, blast the layer of rocks open now. Mo Fan quickly screamed to Li Man through the communication device, who was standing by in position. Zhang Xiaohe had arrived at the little sandbank. The only thing he could do now was to pray for the vortex to appear in time. Right below the sandbank where Mo Fan and Zhang Xiaohe were racing, Li Man shone her torch at the moist layer of rocks above her. Since it was possible for the mud to block the hole after it was blasted open, Li Man had to wait until the two were in position before making her move. Plummeting rays. A blinding golden constellation spread out elegantly in Li Man's surroundings. Li Man had no intention of preserving her energy. She instantly cast an advanced magic. She had to blow the layer of rocks open in one blow. Any further delay would result in the two little humans being eaten alive by the two monsters. Plummeting rays was the advanced spell of the light element. More than 100 rays of light were summoned after the constellation was completed. If the magician altered the shape of the rays into sharp weapons, they would turn into powerful piercing laser beams. The plummeting rays turned into countless light arrows under Li Man's control. The arrows were as dense as a heavy downpour, penetrating the layer of rocks from beneath. The rocks were shattered almost instantly. The rain of arrows soon created a 10-meter wide hole on the surface. It was just about the right size, as the mud would not fill the hole quickly, while preventing the two monsters from breaking through. What's going on? Li Man frowned all of a sudden. She had cast an advanced spell, as she was worried that the layer of rocks was thicker than she had expected. To her surprise, the light arrows seemed to have trouble penetrating the entire layer. It doesn't make sense, the rocks shouldn't be this solid. She was already using an advanced spell. Sis, please tell me you're not pulling a prank on us. Where's the vortex you promised us? We're doomed. Zhang Xiaohu's pleading voice blurted out from the communication device, followed by the shrieks of the two monsters. Something's weird about the rocks. I see, the earth element soul seed. The soul seed, flowing mud, it's hidden right in the layer of rocks. Exclaimed Li Man. Are you for real? What are you so excited for? Mo Fan's scream burst out from the device. Screw the soul seed, blast it open right now with all you have. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.